this video, we're going to do what you're not supposed to do on the internet, and we're going to respond to the trolls.
Every day, you need to be reminded that the internet is dumb. And today, we've got a couple stars in our comments here that are just, man, well, you get to be the center of attention.
We got the singular stupidest comment we've ever received on a single video in a video that we posted today. We felt so compelled to respond to the stupidity of this comment multiple times that now we're making a whole video about it.
I wish we had recorded this before my safety meeting. Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat. Is this even a sponsor video? I guess we're not going to say any sponsors, right?
No, yeah, I think this is just an extra video that is a community thing and isn't really like a
shout out to our channel sponsors. I decided to wear my They Live shirt, which says buy and consume and reminds all of us that we need to...
Yeah, marry and reproduce. Marry and reproduce.
That's right. Buy things, consume things, be part of the system.
Yes.
And I think, you know, as us being big, you know, internet scammers, I thought that this was probably a good shirt to wear. And so... yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Let's give some context here. Jake and I, we produce a series very regularly for a very long time called Great Pickups, which is just cards that we think are in a low risk zone, that if you've had your eye on them, or if you were like, when that card came out, you were like, oh, I got to pick that up when it's cheaper. Those are now good cards to be looking at in that way. We don't
to be explicitly clear, don't feel like you should go out and just buy these cards just because.
And I think we're pretty clear about that in the video too. We're also pretty clear about this isn't about investing. I don't know why. I guess just because hashtag MTG Finance has a certain stigma to it, that people think that we're always talking about investing in specs if we're talking about the prices of cards. But I would challenge you to go and find a single video produced in even like the last year that is like, go buy 100 of these because I know that the price will double. That's not what we do here.
That doesn't actually exist.
That's why I want them to go look, because I need our main character here to spend some more time on our channel that they obviously hate. So anyway, we posted a Great Pickups video earlier this morning when we are recording this. I don't know when we'll post this, today or tomorrow, but we received a comment. Old cards in the year 2024. Yeah, these guys are scammers. The oldest card that we covered in this video was from Ikoria. Ikoria came out in 2020.
But then also says anything to not talk about Fallout. I think these scammers are going to do a list on that. Tell me you haven't seen our channel without telling me you haven't seen our channel, because that video like literally came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
we went through the Fallout
want to go
so
back
that you
and
don't
look,
have to.
but it has to have been at least 4 or 5 videos we made specifically about Fallout cards.
I do think it's important to kind of like jump in and kind of talk about like how we do approach MTG Finance, which is a video that I actually recently made, how MTG Finance then and now, which is a video where I talk about how in the beginning of this channel we're much more about like, hey, this is a card that has some potential. You should get copies of this card because it could go up in price. And the channel, especially in the variant era since Throne of Eldraine, is very much changed to, you know, we were just talking about Archive Trap and Mindbreak Trap, and saying don't buy these cards. They're likely to be reprinted.
Like a week ago.
And look at what like, well, actually we've been making that video for like,
how many times
the most recent time
we said it was like a week ago when we were like, don't buy Mindbreak Trap right now.
And now they're both on the
amazing.
What the big score list, or not the big score, the other
Prosperity Times, whatever that
newspaper.
Breaking news, that's what it's called.
Yeah, the breaking news. So if you listen to us and you didn't buy those cards, you're going to have a much better opportunity to buy them now at a cheaper price. And that is what the channel has become about. Anybody here can kind of tell you that the channel is about, you know, looking at all-time highs, all-time lows. Shout out MTG Stocks, one of our sponsors, where we track the price of cards and we help people, you know, make educated buys so that they don't buy at the wrong time. That's what the channel is about.
Really,
you know,
that's
like avoiding. Or we'll say, you know, hey, this card has hit an all-time high. this might be a good card to trade away or a good card to sell so that you can, buy it back later when it is reprinted.
Right.
And so this person just really didn't get the memo.
They said anything to not talk about Fallout. You think these scammers are going to do a list on that. So that sentence was weird and wrong. The next sentence, no, they want to sell you crap. No, we don't. I'm just going to say, no, we don't. I just want to like straight up refute that one. We do want to sell you things in some capacity, but that's not what this video is about. We will be very forthright when we're like, hey, look, we made this thing. We're going to sell it. We want to sell this. Do you want to buy it? That's what selling looks like. Us saying these cards are in a good pickup window. Maybe think about getting them if you want to. That is not trying to sell you things. And then
I just hope they use this same kind of sentiment toward, someone like Prof who comes up with a whole deck. Right. And then comes up with like,
I'm sure that they're just as much a troll
link
on
to the deck.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this person just doesn't like MTG content, but that's a whole different subject. I also saw comments from this person about, oh, I can't believe how slimy they are using a TCG affiliate link after they tell you to buy cards for a whole video. Didn't tell you to buy cards. We put the link there because we know that purchases will be happening, and the people that want to support us, that think we're doing good work over here, are able to help us by doing little to nothing extra that they were already going to do. That's why we provide that link. It's
literally like a link that they can click, do what they were going to do, and it helps the channel at no extra cost to them.
Right.
If they want to help the channel.
Right.
You don't even have to help the channel. This video is free right now.
Yeah.
We could just start putting all of our videos over on Patreon, I guess. We'll just be like, yeah,
we
go
don't
to
want
Patreon,
to, though.
and then we'll sell you our Patreon.
Right. We do provide exclusive videos for the Patreon. Go check out our Patreon. That's me selling you something right there. Bing, bing, bing. But we try and give you good value over there even. Jake, would you consider Michael Cera old?
Michael Cera.
Yeah, would you consider Michael Cera old? Would you consider Emma Stone old?
No, I would not.
That was a weird way of saying that. My year of birth is the same year of birth as Michael Cera and Emma Stone. Fun fact. So when this next sentence goes, it's always the older Magic players that want to sell you old Magic cards. I'm again just going to lean on assuming that you're 8, that you're on Dad's account here on YouTube, leaving inflammatory comments.
I don't even think I would care if Emma Stone was old.
So calling us older Magic players, I'm just going to assume that's relative to you. I don't care if people call me old. I get insulted on the internet every single day. We've made our jobs the internet. And so those kind of things I've got very thick skin toward, but I'm just trying to like put context on your comment so that I can maybe understand where you're coming from a little bit, because there's a lot of frustration. Read the subtext here. There's a lot of frustration in this comment, and I don't want people watching our videos to be frustrated. That's like the opposite of what we're trying to achieve here, to be completely transparent. And so saying that we want to sell you old Magic cards, and I look back through and I'm like, what was the oldest card that we even talked about? It was 4 years old.
Want to sell you older Magic players that want to sell you old Magic cards.
And I don't even understand what the motivation could be for that. I saw some comments that were like, oh yeah,
on a video.
Your Patreon is supporting you, so it must be a couple of LGSs in that Patreon telling you what to pump.
Oh,
that doesn't happen. I wish there were LGSs that were paying us under the table, and we were making a ton of
tinfoil hat type stuff here.
Bro, if we could be making secret money doing this by pumping cards for LGSs to make extra money, I don't even understand what that economic model is, but that's not happening.
That's front loading. That's like if you and I, for example, were to go out and buy every single one of the cards on our list, and we have 100 of them each, and then we say, hey, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy now, like Kramer, buy, and they do that on literal CNBC. Our television, our major news networks, we see it.
But we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And I'll tell you, Anna, our fans know this. People that watch the channel semi-regularly, not like you, but people that watch it semi-regularly know I'm pretty forthright with the fact that I don't buy Magic cards for any other reason but to play them. And I proxy my Commander decks to test them out thoroughly before I go in and buy those cards. That's how I interact with the financial aspect of this game. That's why I'm so into making videos with Jake that are like, hey, y'all, this card, Reign of Riches, it was real high. Now it's real low. It's a strong card. Go check it out. We didn't even say that these were like the lowest versions of these. We were just like, these are all extended cards. That's the theme here. Some of these, they're a little bit more expensive than their base. Some they're the same, some they're less.
Right.
So it just like this.
Let's talk about some of the, this is why I wish I hadn't done the safety meeting before this video, because I just wanted to honestly go into stock mode, Jake, and eviscerate this person with everything that I know that can't get me banned.
Right.
But we should talk about some of the inevitability of the channel hitting a certain size where when we do talk about a card that we think is good, people are going to gravitate toward, you know, buying that card.
The MTG Goldfish effect is what it's been called before, because Saffron has done this inadvertently. Professor's done this. Professor
talking about Savage Beating comes to mind, right?
Exactly.
If you see a card, even in a Command Zone video, that does very well, you know, these are all channels that we like. We like all these channels. If a card does well in a game, and 500,000 people watch that video, or let's say the video does really well and 750 or 1 million people watch that video, and Savage Beating does well in that video. Savage Beating has one printing ever. You're going to have people that are like, ooh, that's a cool effect for my grill deck that I didn't know about. I'm going to buy that card because, man, if you entwine that, you really get some serious value. And that card goes up in price because people organically buy it and there aren't a lot of them.
Right.
And Wizards of the Coast reprints it. It tanks in price. All of those people that bought it that high price are going, oh, what the hell happened? And if you had been over here on Jake and Joel or Magic, we would have told you not to buy that card and wait for the reprint. That inevitably came.
And that's exactly what I was going to say in response to what you're saying, Jake, is that we're pretty forthright and transparent about this card is scarce, by the way.
I wonder if that's why we have sponsors. Do they like that we're forthright and transparent? Who knows? I wonder if sponsors value people that have integrity. It's hard to tell these days.
Sponsors, I love our sponsors, but don't even worry about them. Our patrons, I think the thing is like Jake and I aren't hurt by this. Our feelings aren't hurt. This is probably coming off a little bit like
it's cute.
We got our
it makes me think that we're doing something right. It's honestly adorable.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's putting so much time into his day to do this.
Right.
We should give back a little bit. We should honestly give back a little bit of time. If they're giving us all of this time, I value that. Time is finite, dude.
Yeah.
It is finite.
We appreciate it, Native Retro.
It's honestly really cool. It's so amazing of them.
Went on to say it is a scam. They went through this list extensively. None of the cards mentioned are investable assets. You're right. That is the first time you've been 100% correct.
You actually finally found something that's true.
You nailed it with that sentence. None of the cards mentioned are investable assets. We should have made that the title of the video. Maybe it would have been more clear.
They are, though. They are investable mechanics into your deck. If you want that mechanic or that effect,
you want a card to play,
buying it at a low risk price seems kind of cool, especially if you like the extended art aesthetic, which was the point of this video, which is these cards have prices that may be above or below their cheapest version, whatever. Anyway,
the real investable cards, this is continuing in the comment, the real investable cards are in LOTR. We had a Lord of the Rings card in this video. If you're looking for investable assets, that's not what the video was about, not financial advice. IXA, what is that? Is that Ixalan? CMM, Commander Masters, we didn't cover any of those. PIP, Fallout?
Put my tinfoil hat on. This person is obviously sitting on a bunch of LOTR.
Maybe.
IXA.
I mean, Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. I feel like we put 3 or 4 cards from that set in this video, and that's the last one they use as the real investable cards are blah, 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 and CLB. They would not dare show you those graphs because it goes against their business model.
And it's not a graph, it's a chart, you fool.
And you don't understand what our business model is by any means at all. Don't assume. They want to offload cards whomever LGS is paying through Patreon the most. Incredible. This theory is mind-blowing.
You know what I love about this is because in the past when I used to have some of these like half-baked theories, and then you actually get to be here on this side of it, and you know that it doesn't exist.
No,
it helps kind of like honestly round out a person, because I used to be like, oh man, these damn pumpers, this and that and this and that, and honestly, none of that is going on. So this is so fun the imagination land that's going on in Native's head here.
They get paid to promote crap, hence why to TCG player affiliate link. So if our TCG player handler, we'll call you, our contact over there, if you happen to be watching this video, because I know you watch our content, are you ever like, you need to sell a certain amount of cards? Just, you can leave a comment if you feel like it. But everybody just know that that's not how that deal works. There's not a single deal that we have here on the channel from our wonderful sponsors that allow Jake and I to do this full time that we have to hit any kind of metric for. We have created something that they see value in and they are supporting us on it. It's the same with our patrons. That is it. That's the whole relationship. When it doesn't work for either party, it's done. It's over. We've walked away from sponsorships. Sponsors have walked away from us. It's business. That's how it works. But I promise you, and we would tell you if we were trying to, or if we needed to, sell a certain amount of rares. That's not what we're going for here.
It's funny, man. I'm just reading this comment and it's... The
monthly patrons must be nice, but it makes you a puppet to the highest bidder. So patrons, if you're watching this, whichever one is the highest of all of you, that, and I'm not talking safety meeting wise, I'm talking money, because that's all we care about over here.
We actually need to name that highest tier, and I think Puppet Master could be really good.
Yes.
Puppet Master tier.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you are our Puppet Master, the highest paying patron. So whoever you are right now, thank you for allowing us to sacrifice our integrity for profit so that we can be puppet mastered. Y'all, this is a little exhausting. I'm gonna be honest. It's funny. I read it.
And also
I laughed.
sad.
I sent a screenshot to Jake. He went crazy in the comments in a good way. I sent it to our patrons. I'll be forthright with you. You get to be the full main character in our world today. We sent the comment to our patrons. We were like, hey, you know, we always check with y'all on everything, and y'all are our puppet masters. Feed us, please, daddies. But this comment, does this hold any validity? Are we off base on this video? Do we need to reevaluate this series? And they, we'll just say they agreed with us.
Profiteering, misinformation, and also narrative to promote old Magic cards to sell to their audience.
He said old Magic cards again? Oh my God,
it's very much like
what is this?
Monthly patrons.
This is weird. This is weird.
They get PAYED, which is short for PAID, to promote crap, hence why to TCG player affiliate link.
Look,
now we see the scum paying for the advertisements. That's all this is. These guys are gaming salesmanship.
What I don't want to happen here is anybody go comment toward this person at all. We're not trying to harass anybody. We're not trying to get our pitchforks and torches out. This is a person who there's a lot of frustration in this comment. I want to understand it. Right. They posted it. This is their, they posted their words publicly and we're just responding to them.
Because the scary thing would be, right, that you and I have been implanted with a parasite.
Something.
And we are doing something that we don't even know we're doing.
That's why my first reaction was send the comment to Jake, send the comment to the Patreon, get some feedback. Because we don't get comments like this on our stuff typically. We have the trolley comments. We have the, like, come through and call me fat all you fucking want. But when you start talking about our integrity and our business model, at least try and understand it a little bit before you speak to it, because you come off as stupid.
It gives me a vibe. It gives me like literally like this is an alt account vibe, because you have two people that are pretty much high-fiving and giving each other, you know, like little winky winks.
Wasn't just one person,
they're like doing little butt pats and stuff back and forth, and they're like, oh, I'll pat your butt, you pat my butt, kind of thing.
Let's kiss our palms and high five.
And so they're like kissing and doing like little butt pats, and Rudy would call these mouth hugs and that kind of stuff. And so after they get done doing all their butt pats, they get back on their main accounts and they're like, all right, I'm back on my YouTube channel that, you know, I was just fucking grow my goddamn Instagram for fuck's sake.
Look, if you are a content creator and you're interested in getting into Magic, or you're already into Magic and you want to grow a little bit, like, we love talking creation. If you want to talk to us about business model, or you think we're doing something right, or honestly you think we're doing something wrong, we want to talk to you about that stuff. That's why, like, this comment's trolly and we're handling it in a trolly way, but I hope you've heard me be like, I want to understand the core of this person's issue. Do they have a real issue, or are they just like completely on another planet? Because it might just be somebody who's just on another planet. That happens. That's the internet, honestly. And so when I look at this, I feel the frustration. I feel how, honestly, like maybe hurt they were by our video. And that, like I said, that's not the intention of our stuff. All of our stuff is guided by good information and good hangs. That's kind of the two tent poles of our content. So, yep, having like, something like this is weird.
I can absolutely own that early on in the channel,
sure,
circa 2017. I remember talking about like,
specs and stuff.
I think that Walking Ballista is going to be a card, and it being like a $4 card, this kind of thing,
right?
And then it shot up to like 16 or 20. And yeah, I had extra copies and I sold them and that kind of thing. But the channel has moved so far from that kind of content. It's just like evolved so much since 2017. And so I don't know, like that's maybe like the only thing I can really think of is like, right. Yeah, but Magic has changed. And so like all of that kind of stuff had to go away. Then you get into like front loading kind of content where it's like, yeah, if you're holding a bunch of cards and you're saying, hey, you know, I used to get these kind of comments on the what I'm buying videos where I would just like, I have another what I'm buying video where I'm like, I'm picking up the foils from Ravnica Remastered in the retro frame. You know, like these are cards that I'm buying specific to me as a seller, but I don't have 100 Birds of Paradise over here in retro foil. And I'm like, you better go get that foil retro Bird of Paradise so that I can sell them all into hype.
Exactly.
Which I'm sure is what this person is insinuating that we're doing is like these,
and
that there's a store
I can understand
that has
that.
all of these cards stockpiled, 1,000 copies of them, and we are being paid by them. Absolutely insane clown shoes.
Pump these 13
like,
to 15
I can see
cards.
how it can happen though.
Yeah,
I can see
understand
how they can
the idea
think this
for sure.
Yeah.
And so what it comes down to is, do you like our vibes or do you not like our vibes?
There's so many better ways to like fucking make money, dude.
Oh,
like,
that one. Then that's where the thing kind of breaks down, and you know, without sitting here and going into the economics of it, it just doesn't make sense to do that.
Then it's like, geez, they have to go buy all this shit ahead of time.
Right.
They have to be like, these are the cards we're gonna pump. Like, this is where it just gets into like, I do want to like dunk on them and clown on them a little bit, because it's really think when you start thinking, like, let's start to think here a little bit. You would have to buy every card in this video and then hope that the reach of our video is enough to send the price of those cards.
Right.
When really there are so many Magic players. If you look at our subscribers, we have 75,000 people or however many, and you compare that to the total Magic players, which is like, let's say between 11 and 15 million worldwide, or maybe even more, 20 million, however many.
Right.
You have to have those cards actually take root in those respective formats, and those formats need to organically find them. No store is going to be able to use a YouTube channel to pump like a card like that. Sure, if someone sees how Savage Beating, a one printing card, keep in mind, a one fucking printing card does before it's reprinted, the scarcity, yes, can be sent by a bunch of people organically going to TCG Player, and like 100 people buy out every listing on an old scarce card. Yes, the price is going to go up. Everything we're talking about in this video has like 4 or 5 variants and is from the fucking variant era. Like pretty much all of it has like extended art, regular art, foil version, foil extended art. So yes, this person has so many mental gymnastics that they're jumping through to kind of get to confirm their bias.
Right.
And then I'm sure they're just so excited that shout out to Sinastra 359 is in there giving them little butt pats back and forth, and those guys
shout out to both of them, because they get to be the main character today. They get to be in our video more than, you know, we've got patrons who haven't ever been in a video of ours, and these people get to. So what are we?
But it's an important video.
Right. I think it is
an important video.
We thought that it did need a response from us, because typically, guys, we get comments like this all the time. Trolley comments are part of the life. That's what we signed up for, like I said. But sometimes when it's so off and so wrong, we feel the need to correct and be like, I guess we weren't transparent enough about how we approach this. Let's just make sure that we are very upfront and clear. And that's what we hope this video is.
Yeah. And I don't want to come off like a concern troll or anything like that, but this person, like, God help them.
If we have any position in anything that we ever talk about, we tell you. If we're trying to sell you something or promote somebody's store or service or website, we will tell you. You will see those things happen at very specific called out times in our videos.
We do that like when we're talking about use card conduit.
Right.
Boom.
Exactly. And so
to sell your singles, you want to get some extra money for your cards, use card conduit. Card conduit is paying us to tell you about their service.
Yeah. That's it.
What a concept.
That's how that works. Jake, what do you think about this comment? Bro, this proves these videos are so random. Half of these revealed to be reprinted the same day. We did run into that. That's the first time that's ever happened.
That's pretty wild, actually.
Multiple cards that we covered in a video, with the day we released the video, they were reprinted in a pre-con. But y'all, the video was called Great Pickups. All a reprint does is push the prices down even further. We said low risk. We didn't say these are never going lower than 10. I feel like we even said that in the video, that these could go lower. All Magic cards could go lower.
We did say in the video that it's about extended art cards. So for people that like that aesthetic, then, you know, go pick these up if you want them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And so I'm also kind of weirded out by comments that are like, oh, y'all are getting finessed by these two suggesting $10 purchases. We're not. We're just calling out cards, y'all. Don't go buy anything that we ever say go buy. I don't think we ever say go buy anything. So that's a hard thing to do. Go buy things that we say go buy, because we don't say go buy things. If a card was $20 and now it's down to $5, or if it's down to 10, I'm going to say, hey, this is getting to a more reasonable range. Used to be
where
20.
You're less likely
now
to
it's
get
10.
hit by a massive loss, right?
Right.
So, whereas if people went out last week and bought Mind Break traps from World Wake, then they were probably a little bit, or Zendikar, whatever set it was, then they're probably a little bit upset, because they're like, hey, why my Mind Break trap go from 45 to 20 overnight? Well, because it just got reprinted. And so, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. The internet is always going to be the internet. Yeah. And, you know, that's kind of like the takeaway here for me is, you know, we'll kind of talk about this again, because MTG Finance is something that needs to be clearly defined. And, or I guess not clearly defined, but it needs to be, you know, there are negatives and positives to it. For sure. They're negative and positive ways to look at it. And I guess that's what is the best button for this video, is what are we actually going to do in response to a comment like this? We're obviously not going to change anything, because there's nothing to change. We're doing everything in the positive way that this comment is positing we do in a negative way. And so that is like already kind of taken care of. But what we can say is we will just continue to try and be more transparent. We will try to be more forthright and very clear. That's 3 ways of saying the exact same word, Joel. If we have a position in something, or, you know, is this the lowest that we think this card will ever go? Or why we're showing you these cards in particular, what the theme is. We'll try and be more and more clear to make sure that everybody knows what the goal is here. I don't know how we can be more clear than play the game as cheaply as possible. Don't buy these cards. We're always saying, like, don't buy these. Don't listen to us. We are not your financial advisors. No, but we always specifically say don't like go out and buy this list of cards. Yeah. It's just like, if these cards have been on your radar, they are now cheaper than they were. And if this video is going to go make you buy them, give us a little attaboy and click through our link when you go buy them. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's all we have to say about that. Yeah. Anyway, hope everyone has a good weekend. Have a good weekend. Bye.